welcome to this episode of the Picturehub show. And today we have a wonderful guest, the lovely MisRed.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am blessed beyond measure.
That's good. Tell us about that.
I mean, being here with someone as famous as you,
Really?
I mean, why not?
Now I'm blushing.
Don't stop blushing. Don't blush.
Okay, so how's been your 2020? Has there been plenty?
I don't know about the plenty, but there's been a lot of 20. So I don't know. It's not even like halfway through the year, and so much has happened. But yeah, it's been good so far.
Ah, that's nice. And the year's like really gone by so fast. Imagine,
Dude,
like Easter's around the corner.
the year's finished. We're in 2021. I'm telling you, everything is done now. We can close up shop.
No, we should get ready for voting again.
Right?
Okay, so let's talk about the red market.
Yes. RedMarket Sunday.
Musika mshuku.
Yes. I've never really translated it like that. RedMarket.
Yeah.
RedMarket Sunday is an initiative for
Oh,
entrepreneurs.
it's Red Market Sunday, not just
Yes,
Red Market.
It's a RedMarket Sunday because it happens on a Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
So basically what happens is that on a Sunday, I open up my platforms for young entrepreneurs who need a platform to market their products and services. So this is really a pro bono thing. It's for free for anybody, but you have to be a youthie. You know, in Zimbabwe, youthie, there's youths and then there's youthies. So I'll just go with the youthie because some people just want to hang on. But yeah, it's for free for now.
Why, like, what inspired it? Where did it come from?
Do you know, I'm one person, I love the idea of doing content for myself and showing people about my life. But I thought to myself, what more can I do with this platform? Because I have over 120,000 on Twitter alone. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to maximize on it, but not just for my own benefit, but for the benefit of other social media users. And on top of that, I think social media is such a toxic place. People don't know how to effectively use it to get business. So I thought I can kill two birds with one stone. Remove a little bit of that toxicity on a Sunday and make it more business oriented, but also give young entrepreneurs an opportunity to market their products.
Cool. So have you heard any like
success stories?
Yeah.
So many. Like I have people who just, like December period was interesting because a lot of people would send me gifts and they'd be like, thank you so much. We got a couple of clients from RedMarket Sunday, and the testimonials are crazy. And in my head, I'm just doing it. I'm like, I'm just retweeting.
You should share
and,
those,
you know.
Yeah, you should share those.
But I guess maybe I don't share them so much because it's coming from a genuine place. I'm not doing it because I want anything.
Okay, I guess.
So other people will hype it up like, look at me, this is the success stories or whatever. But I've had so many DMs of just thank you. One guy was actually saying that he couldn't pay his school fees, but once his products were marketed, he got enough money. Then he paid it for his school fees. He also paid for his rental. So those are some of the interesting stories that I can take home for myself. And when I feel like I don't want to do it anymore, I look back at those and I say, you know what? Even if one person gets a sale, that's more than enough.
Wow. So is it going to continually be like a pro bono thing, or one day will the corporates come in and then there's a MisRed website and then now there's a gold package and a premium package?
You're going ahead of me. I think obviously with everything there comes a business element to it, but I'm going to, by every means possible, I am going to make sure that it remains free for the people advertising on the platform.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So I think I need to jump on that.
Right? It's free. I mean, but you don't need advertising.
Yeah, I do.
Your work speaks for itself.
Thank you. So I read a quote from you. This was about 5 days ago. It says, Chapati. I believe social media has just made people darker internally, and we are now just okay being nasty to each other. For bloody likes. In caps.
Yes, bloody.
And several exclamation marks there.
Yeah.
Young people are really killing themselves over cyber pressure and bullying. Ask yourself if you are potentially a trigger. Yeah.
So that was actually necessary, but it was a specific situation. If you read the tweet previously to that, or one of my, what I was saying, I was responding to someone who had tweeted, I don't know if you know the Lorraine Guyo and Chambari saga. Yeah. So someone just posted what they thought the story was, right? And then that was it, full stop. No one went deeper to actually just investigate and ask questions. So I was like, and I was reading through the comments and I was like, guys, And people were saying, yeah, you mustn't do things if you can't afford them. You see, this one. And it wasn't coming from a place of wanting to teach someone something, but it was coming out of a place of, yeah, that's what you get, you know. So for me, it was like, wow, you know. And when I see things like that happening to two amazing women, in my head, I'm like, it shouldn't happen like that. But it was perpetuated by people on social media because people wanted a fight. People were looking for people to fall and people to break. So I just kind of took a step back and I was like, but sure, because me when I write in Shona, that's when I'm really like feeling the tweet. Things are just bad to this extent. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, you know, like social media can be harmful.
Yes, it can.
Like I was listening to, I think, a Breakfast Club interview, and there's this guy who was like, you know, we do not give kids heavy equipment to use when they're young because we know they'll get hurt.
Yes.
You know, and when you give someone something that could be potentially harmful, we train people. You know, we let them know that, okay, this is how you operate.
This is how it should be done.
This is how it should be
but
done.
no one has done that with social media.
You see,
no
and
one.
The thing is, I feel like maybe sometimes people are venting their own.
Yes. But that's what really happens. Even for me, when I look at my own personal use of social media, I'm venting about my personal issues. So it can happen in two ways. It can happen in a toxic way. It can happen in a positive way. It can happen in an empowering way. But you have to now be the person to choose. But okay, what do I choose to exert out of myself? What do I choose to let people in on? Whether it's good or bad, it's really up to you. But the same principle works negatively as it does positively. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So what would you say your 5 tips, like a jungle survival
of social media? Don't post it if you're not ready for the comments. Because there's no rules on social media, to be quite honest. So that's the first one. Don't post it if you're not ready for the comments that don't come with it. Number 2, if you're going to be on social media, especially if it's not for commercial purposes like for us, you need to keep it tight. Likes and follows don't really equate to likability, or maybe people like your content, but in the same breath, I almost feel like it's been taken kind of out of context, where people just they go all out for those likes, and it's not important. Social media is for you to socialize with the people that matter to you, tell them about what's happening in your life, and that's really it. It's an update. But now we've just a rotten space. So that's 2A. 5.
Okay.
Don't post it if you're not ready for the comments. 2, keep your social media space tight-knit if you're not doing it for commercial purposes. Keep it to your friends and family strictly if you don't want to deal with any drama. Number 3, also remember that your next potential employer could be viewing your whatever it is. So you have to be extremely careful about what you post generally. Not even about like pictures or whatever, but generally what you post, right? Number 4, make it good content. Don't make it negative. Just make it things that people would want to actually just read about. You know what I mean? Especially if it's your family and your friends. Make it fun, right? And then number 5, how to survive social media. Block.
So how many people on your block list?
Let's check.
Blocked. MisRed blocks people.
I block people. I started blocking people. I started blocking people because I was tired. And I used to be like, I just used to let people say whatever they want. But someone's like, you actually don't need to. It's your platform. So, you know, they're not giving you sad. Wow. Really. So let's see how many I've blocked. It's less now. 26.
That you're going to be like
100 and something. No, I'm very nice. I'll let you, if you debate with me, like, I'm not always right, but if you respectfully debate with me, even if you're saying something that makes me look wrong, I'll never block you. But if you're disrespectful to me and my followers, I block immediately. You cuss at me, you're disrespectful, you don't know where to stop with certain nyayas, I block. I block.
Without pointing fingers. I hear you with the list that you've given, but I feel like that list to some people might not apply, because there's some pages or some personalities where the content is just drama. It's like they're fighting someone, and then at some point you start asking yourself, how is it that this person has so much content and like 90% is drama, is not some of it scripted then?
I think a lot of it is scripted, but remember the survive. It's how to survive social media. That was our list, right? But there are people there for different reasons, and you are right. It doesn't apply to everyone. Yeah. But if you're there for just you, let's say you're just a random Samantha, and you just want to enjoy social media without any drama, I think that can apply.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I like how I like your confidence.
Really?
Yeah, you're very bold, you know, and confident, and which leads into the next tweet.
Hey! You didn't keep my tweets, man. You kept them. But it's also been to my detriment, the confidence.
Tell me.
Because I have like relationship struggles. Because sometimes I'll date a guy and then they'll be like, I love your confidence. I love it. You're so assertive. And the next thing, knee deep into the relationship is like, confidence here, my dimambush. So it depends. I guess I need to be with a very strong man. Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
So you said, I don't know if you're quoting someone or these are your actual words. You said, be unapologetic and relentless with what makes you thrive. Many times we are influenced from the outside world and cloud our own desires for the sake of those around us. The sooner you're able to grasp this nugget, the sooner it will drastically change.
So that one I remember it because it had quotes. So every time I put quotes, it's said by someone else, but it resonates deeply with me. Yeah. I think a lot of the times we're always apologetic, Sorry, I'm so beautiful. Sorry, I'm doing so well. Sorry, I'm successful. Sorry, I'm intelligent. Especially as Black African women, where we are told we can't be because, you know, we live in such a patriarchal society. You know, it's wrong for you to stand out and be bold as I am. You know, why? What are you stepping on? Someone once asked me, like, who do you know in government? And I'm like, what does this have, my confidence have to do with anyone that I know in government? You know, it's like, nah. Like, allow me to be confident and assertive and teach the next generation of women that it's okay for you to be confident and assertive. Even still, you can be confident and assertive as well as respectful. As Africans, we can't run away from the fact that women have a certain role that they play in society. But in the same breath, it doesn't mean that you have to stop and just stand and listen whilst the men speak. If you have something to say, say it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So to you, what's the definition of a strong woman?
A strong woman doesn't necessarily need to be loud. You can be very quiet and still have strength. There's this misconception that being able to speak and, you know, amongst people makes you, no, that's not necessarily, you can be a very weak person, but still you're able to, exactly. So it's an internal process. You have to be able to stand your ground even in your silence and know when to stop, know when to start. You know, it varies from woman to woman, but you don't have to be loud to be looked at as a strong woman.
But what's your take on, like, what's your list of things to say, this is what makes a strong woman? And the reason why I ask is, you know, I've realized that words are very powerful.
Yes.
You know, and for me to start my career, I can trace it back to specific moments when someone decided to believe in me and said a line that to them was just a line, but to me, like, totally changed my mind or changed my life and changed the way I saw things. And so for me, I really believe in the power of words. And I believe that there's someone listening right now, you know, who looks up to MisRed and is like, you know what, one day I want to be strong, powerful, you know. But at the same time, I like what you mentioned, that there's different ways of being a strong woman. You know, you don't necessarily have to be loud. You can do it being quiet. I mean, you find that the people on both sides of the boat, you know.
So with regard, okay, that's a lot of things that you said in one space, but I'm going to start off with your situation. You didn't need a line for you to change your mind. There's a saying that says, chance favors a prepared mind. So your mind was already prepared by the time that someone came with the right wording for you to be inspired to take your next step, right? So you have to just always be prepared. So that's the first part. And then the second part, what were we talking about?
We're talking about your definition of a strong woman.
Strong woman, it's different for every single person, but here's my list of things that I know that you have to know who you are. like know you, who you are inside, outside. So when someone else comes through and tells you this is how things are supposed to be, and yet you know that for you that's not it. You have to be able to articulate, even in your silence, that no, this is not it for me. So that strength is being able to understand who you are and being able to articulate that to the next person. That's the first bit. The next thing is to be assertive in your decisions, in your decision making. When someone comes and says, no, Madeo, yes, you can listen. It's very important to listen. But at the same time, you have to know. That also goes back to the first point of knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you're more assertive with what you want. And you know whether something is right or wrong for you. And when someone comes, you can immediately tell them no or yes, right? Oh, there's so many things that I can think of. But off the top of my head, assertiveness.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, mental health.
Yes.
How does MisRed take care of MisRed? How do you stay sane? How do we not have what you call those Instagram videos, live?
But that's just ridiculous, man. That's just. Do you know what happens with me? Like the minute I know that I'm going through something, this thing here, my phone, it gets taken away.
Who does that? Whose job is it to do
My
that?
friends are so good at it because they know Kuti, she's going through something. So I have friends who come to my house and they'll be like, yo, we're here to take your phone.
Okay.
Literally, because I'm going through something. So a lot of the times I'll go through things and you may not even know it because I just find that mental health issues are so serious, you know, and in Zimbabwe, we're at our worst. So many things are happening, like the economy, the politics of the country, everything is just a lot. Young people don't have work. They can't take care of their families because the money that they're getting paid is not equating to what the market is looking like. So it's hard. You have a lot of people who are depressed, right? A lot of people who are sad. So for you now to get on to live now, you're telling people, hey, and then this happened to my life, da, 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 da. But I've been blessed. I can't say that, you know, I have a horrible life. You know, I think it's mostly maybe I mismanage because I love shopping. I love nice things. But I can't say that things are bad. They're not bad. So I feel it would be very selfish of me to do that. But with regards to mental health, I've suffered from depression before. And it comes from the fear of failure. For me, it's a very big thing. The fear of not being able to do for my family. You know, it's a scary thought for me. Not being able to afford certain things. It's a reality for every Zimbabwean, and I'm not excluded from that conversation. So when I have my moments, I, you know, take a step away. This thing called social media, it's dangerous.
But then how do you get to that moment where you realize that, okay, I am depressed and what's the next step? Because like in our culture,
depression disease room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
according to.
It's not an African thing.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over it.
What do you need?
Yeah, man up, yeah.
Someone else once said to me, it's not that you're depressed, you're broke. I'm like, no, actually. Depression is a real thing. And then I started asking myself, I'm like, if I had money, would I still feel like this? And then like a few days later, I had money and I was still depressed.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything with the money. Like
okay.
I actually...
Next time you have that problem,
you know,
call me. I'll be your money friend. Your other friends can come and take your phone. Call me.
You take the money.
I'll come get the money. I'll come get the money.
So I don't know. I just, you know, it's a sad, I don't know how to explain it, but for you to get to that point where you're saying to yourself, okay, now I'm in a bad space. It's not easy. Depression is different for everybody. And a lot of the times, people don't understand it. They don't understand what someone is going through. They can't. Even I can be depressed and you can be depressed, and we both don't understand what we are going through.
True.
So that's what makes it so crazy. It's a silent killer. And you know, people are stroking younger. People are having high blood pressure at a younger age. It's messy.
And even just yesterday, we saw the headline where it says suicides among men increases.
They're in the rise.
The week before it was university students. And then I think the week before it was something else.
We need to talk about this, especially for the men, right? Because here you are as a man, you're required to have your wife, your side chick, everybody needs to be taken care of. You know what I mean? And Zimbabwe is the way it is. It's just crazy. So now, there's so many expectations as a man. Even, okay, let's just talk about your household. Even your kids will start looking at you like blaza if you're not bringing anything to the table, you know?
True.
And then next thing, mom has an uncle who comes here and then the kids are like, uncle does better for us. You know, it's messy, but I'm just being honest as to what is happening in Zimbabwe. So we need to just have a deep conversation.
I like to watch. I don't know if you watch this. Comic Pastors. What's that monthly thing he does? What's the name?
The awards.
Yes.
Yes.
If you noticed, last month's one.
There were a lot of infidelity ones.
Yes. In my mind, I was like, this is crazy.
Yes, but that's what it is.
You know, this is crazy.
But it's not that infidelity hasn't been happening.
No,
It's
I
that
know,
social media is just
I
there
know,
now to
I
just
know.
show us.
Yeah. But it's crazy.
Messy.
And so now, the question is, where do we go? You know, okay, two questions. One is, okay, where do we go? You know, what happens if you figure out that, okay, I'm going through something, who do you talk to? You know, and then secondly, if you're in a position where you can say, okay, my dad is going through something, and it's quite heavy, or my mom, my sister, my little brother, or my friend, you know, or someone, how do you help in situations like that? How do you?
First of all, don't try understand it too much.
Yeah.
You know, you must, I mean, the understanding comes from, yes, they're going through a problem, but don't try and be the helper. Because sometimes you might make it worse. Sometimes maybe they need a stranger. Sometimes maybe you're part of the problem as someone who's so close, you know? So for me, my friends know this so well, I shut completely. I mean, I change WhatsApp numbers and So I shut everybody out. So when I start doing that, that's when they worry. But they know that I need a little bit of time to just process what's going on. Not that I'm going to do anything to myself, but I just need to process. And once I've processed, I'll come out, everybody will know, and everything will be fine. You know, so you need to, as someone who's a part of the family or someone who's part of their support structure, first understand that they may need to not have you to fix their problem. But if they need someone to talk to, you must tell them, I will always be here if you need to talk. But don't rush them. Go through their process and ask them, okay, whenever you're ready, I am here. But they're also professionals who can listen, that are there specifically for that. There's a couple of organizations that I know, but you'd have to look it up for yourself. But there are quite a couple of them in Zimbabwe that can help.
Have you ever searched them out?
I've got a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Okay.
Don't put me on the spot. But I do have someone that I go see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think I know of the counseling center, but that's the only
Counseling
one I
center,
know.
yeah. There's one or two. There's also, even if you're not comfortable with a physical person, there's virtual counseling that you can do. I know 20 Friday does something with regards to that. There's a company, a big corporate. But yeah, look up 20 Friday. It does something to do with mental health.
Yeah, and also look up counseling center. I think it's in Mount Pleasant or somewhere. Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a struggle that it's not basic, or it doesn't have a prescribed solution to it. Like I said, for everyone it's different, but you need to have an honest conversation with yourself. Tell yourself, I'm struggling. I've had to let go of a lot of things this year because I was like, is it worth it? My mental health, even my team, my guys will be like, we need to push this. And I'll be like, guys, I don't want to do it. You know, and they don't understand it because they're trying to push the brand because they are hired to do to build the brand equity of MisRed. But I'll straight up tell them, I don't want to do this event. I don't want to do this gig. I don't want to do that campaign because it doesn't help me putting pressure on myself over things that will affect me, affect my children, affect everything around me. So you have to have an honest conversation and just be honest with the people around you. Guys, I'm ailing. I'm struggling, you know, and that's the first part. I think the help then comes easier when you've been honest enough with yourself to tell yourself, you know what, maybe I'm not all right. You know, but if you keep on lying like I'm just bored, that's when you die inside. I'm a man. So even men, and I always on my Twitter, since you're stalking me on my Twitter, I always once in a while I say to Zimbabwean men, I love you. You're amazing. We love you as the women. We care for you because I know the men especially are the ones who are struggling.
Zimbabwean women be like, we're watching.
You know, like I've got women who don't like me because I say that. But anyway, that's another story. But we have to keep on encouraging even our brothers to say, you know what, things may not be okay today, but we love you and we appreciate what you do. Because the minute you do that,
but the thing is, while we're on that topic, the thing is, you have a lot of people telling men that, you know,
men are trash.
Exactly, men
I'm
are dogs.
You
know, exactly.
And it's not nice.
you know, pamwe mamwe munhu ari kutofirira mufunge.
And then you're trash.
Munhu ari kutofirira, you know, someone is trying their best to make things work, but it's just not connecting. You know.
It's crazy because as women, we've also, it's not just because, okay, there's this big debate about whether we have embraced the emancipation or the empowerment of women correctly, because on the one side, there's some men who don't know how to deal with empowered women. And then there's some women who don't know how to deal with being empowered. You know, they take that and they make it like almost like now because we're at par and there's parity, then I'm supposed to be disrespectful to you because we're at the same level. But men amongst themselves, they don't disrespect each other. They have a certain decorum that they have. So as a woman, don't think that because you've been empowered, now you have to be like all up in everyone's face and everybody got to know about you and your empowerment, and then the men have to know that they are below you. No, they're not. If you're talking about parity, you're talking about equality. So equality is not showing off or showboating or grandeur. It's not about that. So because we have those two sets of people, men who don't know how to deal with empowered women and women who don't know how to deal with being an empowered woman, it's such a difficult conversation for you to not have women who will say men are trash and men don't want to also come and say something else. But it actually does contribute to the detriment of, or the degradation of society. Because what are you doing as a woman? Yes, things happen. Men do things that are very foolish, but women also do things that are very foolish.
We're all in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat. So who's going to win if you say men are trash, women are this? It's just an exchange.
You know what, I wish there was like a place or school where this stuff could be taught.
But do you know what it is though? I think it all starts from the beginning. Because now we're a generation of a lot of new things. We're a generation of we're the first generation who was using digital the way we are. So we have to still understand it. And by the time our kids get to, you know, grown ages, they start to work, it'll be a different conversation, you know? But here's the thing. Whilst we are saying the girl child, we must teach her that she must, no one is coming and saying the boy child, we have to teach him A, B, C, and D. So it starts off when they're still kids. So don't take the girl child and leave the boy child behind, because there's a lot of catching up that will need to be done. So that's another area which we're failing in, because we're so focused on, and yes, there's still so much, I don't take for granted that there's still so much work to be done with regards to women issues. There's so much, you know, and even the pay grades, a lot of things are still very unequal, right? And not level.
It kind of feels like there's more women employed than men though.
They may, because women make for better employees.
Thank you.
We're more trustworthy. We don't steal.
That's debatable.
We don't, okay. But,
That's debatable.
but I'm just saying, they may be, maybe it's because as well we may be less expensive because women get paid less.
Really?
A lot of women get paid less than
maybe,
men doing the same job.
Maybe the pay thing, yes. But here in Harare, you literally go to a shop and like a whole department store, and there's 2 men. Like the whole thing is women. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. But yeah.
And also the population, they're more women than men.
Okay.
So I'm going to defend the women all the way to the back. I'm saying, but yeah, it's.
And I think also coming back to what I just said, where like I wish there was some way of teaching this information. I feel like people like you, with a platform and a voice, I think you shine light on things like this. But instead, sometimes the guys with the voices are the ones who set the worst examples. Yes,
they perpetuate those conversations into something completely different. That's why maybe a lot of people are not a fan of me, because I try as much as possible to be the voice of reason, but I'm not always correct as well. I remember a situation where it just blew up after Bev got married, right? And I went on Twitter and I'm like, Bev, I'll join our Wadzano. And I wasn't even saying it in a negative way, because because I come from a background where I'm a single mother. I've been judged on many levels because I'm not married. But Bev, who's been castigated on so many levels for so many different things, here she is, she got married. And I was basically saying, because that's what you need. You need to be married to be able to qualify to be Mrwadzana, right? For those who understand those kind of churches. But everyone's like, what are you saying? Are you saying that babe is not good enough? And I was like, whoa. I had to kind of take a step back. And people who just wanted to always say something to you, now had an opportunity. Sometimes we miss the mark.
Yes.
We don't explicitly say what we want to say and the meaning is understood.
Yeah.
So there's that element as well that maybe we might be trying, but people don't understand what we're trying to say to actually help develop the content and the context of our conversations. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But there are so many powerful voices in my generation. Yeah. And what you're saying is very important. It's very pertinent that we continuously encourage each other to speak rightfully so on platforms and edify the conversations online.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's important. We'll talk forever.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the end of our show. However, before we let her go, when are you getting married?
I don't know why.
We take pictures.
Why?
Beautiful wedding pictures.
I've seen all of I've seen so many wedding shoots you've done. Yes. I've seen pregnancy shoots that you've done. I've seen family shoots.
When is your wedding shoot?
My pregnancy shoot. Sure, that's a lot of questions. Yeah. Someone said to me this year at the beginning, one of my friends was like, this year you're getting married. I'm like, to whom? I sat back, I was like,
Is your friend a prophet?
No, it's not a prophet. But he said, this is this year you're getting married. If not white wedding, you're definitely getting horat. I'm like, okay.
Did they have a dream?
They just said this year you're getting married. They didn't tell me the source of the information, but it wasn't me, because at the time I had nobody.
Okay.
So
at the time you had nobody.
Yes.
You already told us what we needed to hear.
Okay.
MisRed is not single anymore. So yeah, I'm sure some people are trying to go on us.
I don't matter because I'm one. But lockdown data, lock and key.
So you said something earlier, and you just reminded me. What's your criteria? What's the MisRed strong guy? Or let me not say strong. What's MisRed qualifications?
To date?
Yes.
MisRed doesn't...
What does your CV need to have?
For you to date MisRed?
Yes.
MisRed is not available to be dated. However, Samantha is a different story. Yes. They're two different, because MisRed is she's the people, Yeah. But Samantha, you need patience, because of MisRed's job. MisRed is job. So you need a lot of patience. I'm a sapiosexual. I'm attracted. No. Could be possible. No, I'm a I love the mind. Okay. I'm attracted to intelligence. I'm attracted to. Neither here nor there for me. You can be good looking but have no brain. If you don't have the brain, I'm not interested.
Okay.
I've seen guys who are yummy, but the minute they start talking, hey, you're like, please keep quiet, just don't talk. So it's the same with guys. Guys will look at a woman and they will love the idea of having a beautiful woman. Yeah. But after a while, they'll be like, she's not brainy, or if she doesn't have, if you can't have conversation with her, if you can't be a companion. But what you need is a connection. The connection is what puts people together, what keeps people together. So companionship is so important for me. I want to be able to have a conversation with you. I want to be able to tell you my problems and you help me solve them. Yeah. I want to be able to say, babe, I want to start this business. And as a man, you come and say, babe, how much do we need to start this business? Let me support you. Yeah. So, I'm a gold digger, but I ain't messing with no broke nigga.